All right, so we're taking a little break from Project Cross Zone because I think it's we're about the halfway point, more than halfway, I think. And I think it's a good place to just stop for a little bit. We'll be back to it soon. We're gonna do tier list tonight. So let me get some music ready. Let me play some music that won't get me claimed. So we're gonna do Stardew Valley music because, as we established, Concerned Ape is a good person who will not claim my videos. Alright. Anyway. That should be good enough. Alright, so here's the plan for tonight. We're gonna do tier lists, like I said. Probably not gonna go, hopefully, too long with tier lists. Then, I think we're gonna stop the recording and then come back. And I'm gonna do... I want to play Claw Machine Sim again. I don't care if nobody but me likes that game. I like that game and I want to play more of it. Okay, there's the tier list. And then for the next two streams for this week, I'm going to play the Klonoa Game Boy Advance game. I got it working. The first one. And we should be able to get that done in maybe 2 streams, hopefully. Alright, let me move things. It's hard to... Alright, you guys are going to see OBS for a second, so just don't freak out. Don't freak out. Don't freak out. Okay, it's gone. Again, this is why I don't want to do tier lists anymore. There's just so much of this happening. Anyway... We got a bunch here, a couple submitted, couple I've been sitting on for a while. I'm just gonna maybe go for about 2 hours, tier list, and then we'll switch over. So, the tier maker has these live tier lists. I don't know what any of these are. I was looking at them the other day, and like most of them are just like waifu smash and pass stuff. I don't know what all this is about. Ultimate waifu, Super Mario Galaxy 4 characters. Okay. I don't know why they're doing live tier lists. That makes no sense to me. Alright, so first one we're going to start with. Since we're taking a break from Project Cross Zone, we're going to do something a little bit relevant. I found Namco x Capcom unit tier list. Yes, somebody actually made one of these. And there they are. The crew from Namco Capcom. Most of which did not make it into Project Cross Zone. So this seems like a nice little short one and relevant, so I figured why not. There are ones for Project Cross Zone too, but we're not done with those games yet. Anyway. I don't know exactly how I should judge these. On how cool they are and how useful they are. Alright. I guess we'll just do that. We got... what was the name? Armor King? I almost said Metal King. That's not right. He was kind of interesting because he started out as a bad guy. He's also, like, undead. And, the best part with him was when he got stunned for most of a round. Like, stranded in a spot. Yeah, he's alright, I guess. He teams up with regular King. I'll give him B tier. Then we have, Sakura and Karen, or as I like to call them, the Wrecking Crew. Because, my god, they can do some damage, because they have so many, like, attacks. Or they have so many abilities to attack. I'm gonna give the... you know what? I'm giving them S tier, because they're awesome. Then we have Stan and Ruti from Tails game. Yes, Tails game. They're one of our money printers, but they were the weakest money printer. They're very flashy. They have, like, a lot of attacks. But I don't remember them doing a whole lot of damage. So... they're okay. C tier. None of these characters are, like, particularly bad, but some of them are just not as interesting. Then we got Bravo Team. Team Johnny Bravo Man and Wonder Momo. Another two characters that will never make it to any US release. Whoa, mama. I like the novelty of these guys. I like doing the Johnny Bravo voice for Bravo Man. I'm gonna put them with Armor King. They're pretty cool. Mitsurugi, who is kind of a tank character. He, yeah, he does some good damage. I'm gonna give him... He's a little slow. I want to give him A tier, but he is kind of slow. So I'm gonna put him in B tier. Then we have Arthur. Arthur is a great character. Lots of attacks. I love the fact that he does, like, all the attacks from his game in his sequence, attack sequence. He's a little bit better than the others, I guess. Then we have Strider, who is absolutely just a walking damage machine. And he has long range too, which is good. So he's definitely an S tier character. He's solo killed two of the what were those guys? The Sturm from Captain Commando. And then Captain Commando took credit for the for them. Alright, then we have Bruce and Regina. Character from obscure Resident Evil game and character from obscure game. They weren't that great, I'm gonna be honest. They're okay. They got like good long range attacks. And I like the combined attack they do with these guys. From yeah, I know Dino Crisis. Yeah, they're alright. These two were kind of like an odd couple. You know, I'm just gonna go ahead. They're kind of an odd couple, but I think I like them a little bit more. So they'll get B tier. Then we have Reiji and Xiaomu, the OCs. We got yeah, you know what? They are cool as OCs, as the main characters. But I am going to... I'll give them A tier. They're not as good as these two. I have to remember that the stream is cropped off weird because I can't get rid of the fucking ads on this site. Anyway, next we have Garugamesh. Weirdly enough, got the final blow on Saya. Well, the girl did. I forget what her name is. I like just the novelty of Garugamesh, just the jokes we were making. I'll give them A tier because they're all right. They're pretty cool. Then we have P1 and P2 or whatever the fuck their names were. Well, they don't have names, but whatever the fuck we're supposed to call them from that one shoot game. They're pretty good with long range stuff, but I don't remember them doing a whole lot of damage. I'll give them B tier. Then we have what's her name and Moromi, who were well, you know, I'm gonna move Klonoa over because okay, these two units were basically the same. They got a lot of range, a lot of movement, and well, Klonoa can do short range, so I guess that makes him a little bit better. But whenever there was like somewhere we had to get to real quick and like a long range, these two were the ones to do it. Mostly them though. So I'm gonna give them B tier, and I'm gonna give Klonoa and Gantz A tier. We will see you next stream, Klonoa. Don't worry. Let's see. We have Kageki. The girl is Key and the unknown soul. Yeah, I forgot where. Okay, yeah, I remember now. Then we have Kagekyo and Taru, right? Two of the most obscure characters. And one of the oddest couple. One of the oddest units, rather. You know, Kagekyo's really cool. Honestly, I'm gonna be real. Taru didn't really add a whole lot to anything. So... I guess that balances out. As a unit, they were really good too. I'm gonna give them A tier. Then we have King and Felicia, who... Weirdly enough, King didn't have any, like, spoken dialogue. I don't know why that was. Was he the only one that didn't? I think so, yeah. Well, except for Mac, because Mac just doesn't talk. What do I do with them? King only roars. But he had dialogue. Like, he was speaking. He just didn't have a voice actor for some reason. Alright, I'm gonna give them... They were a pretty good unit. I'll give them a B tier. I'll put them next to Armor King. Because these two had a tandem attack. Then we have Hideo and Kyoko from rival schools. They were also kind of just an okay team. They were like a team of like, why the hell are you in this game? But they were all right. They were a little bit better than these two, but they weren't one of the better teams. Then we have he's like that in Tekken. So then we have Mega Man and Roll from Mega Man Legends. They were long range attack, but if I remember correctly, they also had like healing abilities and stuff. So they were pretty useful. I'm gonna put them in A tier. Then we have Captain Commando and Baby. The most absurd character of the whole thing. We'll get to him in a minute. Captain Commando, yeah, he was a good like all-around unit. Yeah, give him a B tier. He's pretty good. Baby, however, just gets because of the absurdity of this character. I'm just gonna go ahead and put him in S tier. He was just so much fun to play with. Just his attacks and everything, and his like special attack where he just rides a missile, just goes straight Dr. Strangelove on a villain. He was a... Oh, man. Baby Gru? No. He's way better than Gru. Alright, then we had Chun-Li. It's interesting we have characters here that are, like, solo, but they're not actually solo units. Like, Xion's here, but not Momo. She was one that teamed up with Cammy once we snapped her out of her stuff. They as a unit, they were really good. She was pretty all around, I suppose. Yeah, but then Dimitri though was a damn powerhouse. Not only that, but he also had a lot of movement. So Dimitri goes up for sure. Honestly, I'm kind of tempted to put him in. You know what? He's a high A. High A. Then we have Guy and the ninja dude from Captain Commando. I don't remember his name. These were another really good team. I think they were just a bit shy of... They get a high A. They were just a bit shy of... Ginzu. Okay, yeah. They were just a bit shy of Karen and Sakura. Sho. Right. Or, I guess, what? Yeah. The Ninja Commando. What an absurd game Captain Commando is. I mean, you have this dude who's like a cyborg, then you have a ninja, then you have a baby in a mech, and then just like a weird purple alien dude with knives and a backwards hat. How did that not take off in the US? Anyway, Heihachi, who's just kind of funny. I like his attitude in not just this game, but also in Project Cross Zone too. How he just kind of does whatever he wants, which I guess is pretty close to his character. He was a pretty like all around decent. Yeah, he gets a B tier. He was a decent unit. Baby's name is Upa, I think. In the game, they just called him Baby. Then we have Jin in his tracksuit. He was I'd say he was a little bit better than Heihachi. I mean, he was around a little longer too. Then we have Ken. Because in this game, Ken and Ryu were separate units, unlike in Project Cross Zone. I would say, you know what? They're roughly the... I mean, yeah, it makes sense that they're roughly the same. They were good all-around units, too, I think. So... I find... you know, I use them a lot more than some of the others. This is where it's hard. It's like, I don't know sometimes, like, exactly how to judge some of these. So, yeah, they're well-rounded. I'm gonna put them in B tier. Then we have Cosmos. I think it's safe to say Cosmos goes in S tier because of the damage she deals. Like, that one time I dealt, like, over 5,000 points of damage with her just because of all the buffs and her special ability. Ridiculous. Like, she could have easily taken down a boss by herself. I don't think we did, but she could have, probably. Then we have... what was his name? The dude from Valkyrie. The Ninja Turtle. Wow, have I forgotten his name already? Don't tell me. Don't tell me. Oh, my brain. It hurts. Okay, I can't remember his name. I'm sorry. Wow. I should mention, before we keep going, I had a rough day at work. 2 people were not there, and our air conditioner was broken. So, that'll give you a good idea how my day went. Sandra? He is a Sandra. That's what he is, right? Carino! That was his name, Carino. Okay, I remember now. So yeah, Carino and Sabine. I like them just generally. Again, they were also, I guess, a pretty well-rounded unit. Yeah, today it was just not good. We had, someone didn't come in, someone left early, and our air conditioner was broken all day. And I live in Florida, so that's fun. I'm hoping the AC will be fixed for tomorrow, but I doubt it will be. Which sucks too, because not just because of, you know, comfort issues, but we have chemicals in our building that need to be, like, dry and in a certain temperature. So that could be potentially bad. Overnight. It's been pretty hot down here. It was 99 yesterday. But we're supposed to get rain today, so... Or tomorrow, rather. Anyway, Morgan, who was also a solo unit that became a not solo unit. Morgan, I think, also was pretty well-rounded. Well, when she got Lilith, she was a little bit better. She's kind of cut off, though, unfortunately. That's a shame. Then we have Mike the Mayor Hagar. Wrestler of dinosaurs and dragons. I just love the fact that most of the time I just had him fight giant things, like the dinosaurs and the dragons. And it's just Mike Hagar. He's awesome. I'm gonna give him A tier. He was kind of a powerhouse too. So yeah, very, very useful character. Didn't have a lot of movement, unfortunately. So yeah. Then we have Judas from the Tales game, who was like one of the villains, then switched to our side. Gee, Judas switched sides. Who would have thought? You know what? He probably got the best laugh out of me of the whole playthrough because of when he betrayed, or when Black Valkyrie betrayed him. He called her a whore. Black Valkyrie, you whore! He was an all-around good character, though. I guess. Decent. Well-rounded. Rose, who was very good with the buffs. Healing and such. So yeah, she'll get an A tier. Shion and Momo. As attackers, they weren't the best. But again, they were good as healers. Which makes sense, because given what I know about their game. You know what? They were very useful. I'm gonna give them an A tier. Then we have Sylph, the scam artist, who I've said before, she ran the shop, or for a while. Like they had the different characters running the store. She was one of them. She was also a money printer. She was actually one of the better money printers. So was Kagekiyo. Where is he? There he is. What I found funny though, and I talked about this already, but it bears repeating. She generates money for the team, but she runs the shop. So she generates money that you will in turn give to her to buy items that you will potentially give back to her. which is hilarious. You know, she was very useful. The shop, and you know, I'll give her an A tier. And she had some decent attacks too, if I remember correctly. Then we have Taizo Hori, aka Chad Doug. Dig Dug character reimagined as a Chad, which I think is hilarious. I'm gonna, you know what? He's an A tier character because of how just the absurdity of it, and just the fact that he was just kind of cool. And then we have Taki, who teamed up with that other ninja girl from, was it Bravo Man? The robot ninja, who was weirdly very articulate compared to Cosmos. They were all around decent team. I'll give them, actually they were a little bit better because they were faster. All right, I'll give them A tier. Then we have Tron Bon, who was she did mostly long range, right? And I think she was also a money printer too, so we give her A tier. And of course we got Valkyrie, who was I think a very good character. She was another powerhouse. I'll give her A, but I'll put her in high A. All right, cool. There's the tier list. Pretty lot of good, well-rounded characters. I don't know, like, if not Marvel. No, arguably better than Marvel's Valkyrie. If you've seen her attack in the game, she can grow huge and stomp on people. Marvel's Valkyrie can't do that. Anyway, I don't know how to like metagame this game, but we did have a lot of fun with it, and we will continue to have fun with this series for the next couple of stream sessions. All right, cool. So there's Namco Capcom tier list. Pretty good with it. I think all the S tiers deserve to be an S tier. And these ones down here needed a little work. All right. Well, anyway, moving on. Quan submitted this one. 2000s cartoons. Did I not do 2000s cartoons? Quantum, gotcha. I could have sworn we did 2000s cartoons. Cuz I did 80s, I did 90s. I did 2010s. Did we skip over the 2000s? Maybe there's just a lot of overlap with this. Because yeah, it does seem like we've seen a lot of these already. But hey, that's fine. I actually was because I had assumed we did all the decades. Somebody's already making 2020s cartoons, which we are currently already in the 2020s, so I'm not going to do that until we no, I'm pretty sure we did 80s in one of the earlier ones. I have to go check, but so we did a lot of different decades, and we can't really go much further forward until the until the 2020s ends, and then I'll do that, assuming I'm still here. So what I was going to do is I was going to go backwards. I was going to do like cartoons from the 70s and like the 60s, but there are no tier lists for that. Hey. You're the one who got the gift sub. Cool. But yeah, there's no tier list for like the 70s or 60s or anything that, assuming we'll still, yeah. Or, you know, I'll just still be streaming. Anything can happen. Anyway. Foreshadowing. Okay. Yeah. I don't know if anybody wants to put the work in and make a 70s, 60s, you know, going further back cartoons tier list. Feel free to do that. Maybe we'll do it next time. In the meantime, we got this to do. So we got Avatar: The Last Airbender. That's S tier, obviously. Also, yeah, there's a lot of different 70s ones. There's like albums and movies, TV shows and stuff, but nothing specifically for cartoons. Although I think going further back is going to get a little difficult when it comes to, you know, that kind of thing. But hey, if anybody wants to take a shot at it, feel free. Then we got Justice League, which is also S tier. We're off to a good start. Zeta Project, I think, is very underrated. But I don't find it to be as memorable as, like, Static Shock or Batman or, you know, Justice League. I'll give it B tier. It's good. Very short-lived, too. Then we got Static Shock, which I think is a little bit more memorable than Zeta Project, of course. The band cartoons? I don't know. How many band cartoons are there? Alright, well, I tell you what. Like I said, anybody wants to take a shot at doing, like, 70s, 60s cartoons, do it. My one request is that make sure the images are readable. Like this. This is decent. Like, I can see everything. I know what everything is. That's just my general problem with the tier list site. Alright, moving on. The Batman, which actually I didn't watch a whole lot of. I remember the movie. The Joker, not Joker, Joker was in it, but it was the Batman versus Dracula, which I remember liking. So I've not seen a whole lot of this. My only gripe with it was I didn't like the designs for a lot of the villains. I didn't like the Joker's new design. It was a little too over the top. The Riddler looked like Marilyn Manson, and like, some of them were alright, though. I am going to be fair, though, and I'm going to put this in not seen, because I feel like I have not seen enough of it to judge it. Batman Brave and the Bold, however, is very good. It's more campy, but it also has, like, it's not just fun, but it also has a lot of, like, you know, they use a lot of characters, most of which are somewhat obscure, and I do like it when, you know, a superhero thing utilizes a lot of obscure characters. Justice League did that pretty well. But yeah, Batman Brave and the Bold, very good. Teen Titans, of course. A tier. Original. Again, you're not... I keep forgetting everything's... Indeed. So, we have... Is this the... This is the MTV Spider-Man, right? The CGI one that was on MTV? It's yes, it is. Like, I can't believe that. Like, I genuinely can't believe that. Yeah. Okay, so this is the CGI. This one was alright. Unfortunately, it was cut very short and left on a cliffhanger. It was okay. I'm gonna give it a C tier. It's fine. Yeah. If it kept going and there was more of it, then maybe I would have bumped it up a bit. But for now, it's just gonna go there. Then we have Spectacular Spider-Man, which is a far superior Spider-Man. In fact, I would say arguably the best Spider-Man cartoon. Although I don't know if anyone's gonna really argue with that. Then we have Moonscoop Fantastic Four, that one from the French studio. I'm gonna be honest, all the Fantastic Four cartoons are they have their own strengths about them. I would say arguably this one is the best one. But yeah. I don't really remember a whole lot of like specifics about it, except the one episode with She-Hulk. But I do remember liking it. So, the one with Namor too. I remember that one. And oh wait, okay. Now stuff's coming back to me. I remember the one with Ant-Man where they were shrinking. The Fantastic Four shrunk, and they got like too small for him. Then there was the one where Reed and Doctor Doom like switched minds. Okay, all right. I remember liking it. It's a decent show. Iron Man Armored Adventures, which I feel is underrated, but I don't think it's nearly as good as a lot of these other superhero shows. I'm gonna put it in C tier. It's all right. It's a different take on Iron Man. He's in high school. I'm not a huge proponent of like bringing characters, de-aging characters and be like, oh, they're in school now and I gotta deal with school problems and blah, blah, blah. Which is interesting considering one of the picks that's coming up. Superhero Squad show, F tier. Y'all know okay, listen, I don't hate it that much, but yeah, it's not a very good show. The only time the show got a laugh out of me was in the final episode with Galactus. And they took Galactus's helmet off. That's all I'm going to say about that. You're going to have to see it for yourself if you're curious. Now we have Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the 4Kids one. Oddly enough, a very good Ninja Turtles show. One of the few good things 4Kids ever made. What is this? My monthly subscription to Malwarebytes? No. I don't pay for that shit. Like Doom's mom. There was a couple of laughs in it, but it wasn't very good. I felt like it assassinated a lot of characters, especially the Hulk. And I hated that they made Silver Surfer talk like a surfer. That was so stupid. All right, anyway, speaking of what I was just talking about a little while ago, X-Men Evolution. Not as, in my opinion, not as good as X-Men the animated series. But it was very good. So I'll give that an A tier. Not as bad as 2003 Hulk. Then we have Wolverine and the X-Men, which is not as good as that. I'm going to put that... It's an okay show. Did not utilize certain characters correctly. I didn't like what they did with Gambit in it. Storm had such a little to do. Colossus, like, disappeared in one, like, and he never came back into the show for some reason. Yeah, too much Wolverine. I didn't mind too much Wolverine, but it's just, like, the other characters just kind of sucked. As Told by Ginger, I have never seen this. I know people really like it. Brace Face, never seen this either. There's gonna be, this row is gonna be full. So this is that show Brandy and Mr. Whiskey. I remember this is being like advertised on Disney. I don't think I've seen it. Don't know if it's any good. Don't know if people like it. Don't know. The Butt Ugly Martians. Oh god. I'm gonna put that in never seen. Also, I've heard that one's really bad. Ginger was a very ugly. Was this Class B Cuspo? That seems like they would. Okay. A lot of people are like nostalgic for Class B Cuspo stuff, but their designs were never. God, some of their designs were just not very good. What is? Stop scan. I don't want to start scan reminders. Fuck off. You've heard, seen, but is it really? Yeah, well, with Unreal Monsters, I think it makes more sense because, the monsters are supposed to be weird and gross. And then there's like Duckman, which, has a very good style. And the show was so good that it, like, the style didn't really matter. So, yeah, I guess it depends on the project. Like, stuff like this is not for them. Camp Lazlo, from the co-creator of Rocko's Modern Life. It was an okay show. It was fine. It was like if Rocko's Modern Life was like dialed back a lot. And I know, and Rocko's Modern Life, I said many times before, is probably one of my favorite shows of all time. Because it's just so funny, and it's still funny. This is like if you watered it down. This is like a corporate mandated Rocko's Modern Life. I mean, it's fine. It's okay for what it was. Casper's Scare School, never seen it. Cat Scratch, never seen it. Didn't watch Clifford Big Red. I don't think I've seen any Clifford Big Red Dog shows. Even like original ones. Not as good as right. No, it wasn't. Cyber Chase. I've heard of this show, but I don't think I've ever seen it. It was... You don't know? Alright, well, I don't know either, because I haven't seen it. Dora the Explorer. I've obviously not seen it, because I was not young enough at the time. It's still on. What's still on? Cyber Chase? Or... Really? I didn't know that. I've not heard much of this show. I mean, I've like I said, I've heard of it, but I've not really, huh. Oh, it's a PBS show. Okay, I guess that makes sense. PBS shows tend to run long, which I guess is good because, you know, they're good for kids. You should show your kids PBS shows instead of the garbage that they shill on YouTube. Anyway, Fanboy and Chum Chum, I've heard is awful, but I've never seen it. I guess I should be lucky. What is this one? Oh, this is that Inspector Gadget show. Okay, I've never seen this either. This is one of the weird, like, reboots of Inspector Gadget. Arthur, yeah, but Arthur was on for a while. This is the CGI Garfield with Frank Welker as Garfield, who I think is a good replacement for Garfield. I don't think I watched much of this either. Okay, this House of Mouse. Late era Deke. Oof. That's all I gotta say about that. Oof. Deke, the LJN of cartoons. Which is probably not very accurate, but you kind of get the idea. House of Mouse. I think I've seen little bits and pieces of House of Mouse. House of Mouse. It wasn't really a show itself, though. It was like, it was just a wraparound segment for other cartoons, was it not? Archie's Weird. Yeah, I remember that show. Hello, Cynical Taylor. Welcome. Frame it. Yeah. I'm gonna play it safe and put it. The only thing I've seen of House of Mouse is Frank Welker's everywhere. Hey, Chaos. Wow, I got a lot of people turn out tonight. Nice. The only thing I remember from House of Mouse, and there's a clip of this on YouTube, Mickey and Jafar have a wizard battle, and it's awesome. So I'm just gonna play it safe. I'll put it in Never Seen, even though I've probably seen a little bit of it. Yeah. People want this to be on Disney Plus, and you know what? They should put it on Disney Plus. Anyway, here's Johnny Test. That's going right in the bin. Next one is, yeah. Can we go below F tier? Oh man, there's so many of these. Okay, so Kappa Mikey. I remember watching a little bit of this. I think conceptually this was kind of a neat idea. But I don't know. Did people like this show? I don't remember. Yeah, I don't remember like much else about it. He's like, you did? Okay. But I mean, generally, was it like a popular show? But again, I liked it conceptually. drawn together for kids. It was on a channel. No, oh, really? It was on one of those obscure. Oh man. More well received. Is it really? Well, I suppose with Johnny Test, you can only move upwards. Unless you stay right where you are. Anyway, you know what? I'll be kind to this because I do like the concept. I'm going to give it a C tier. What is this? I don't recognize this. It's a girl with a shark. Whatever it is, I've not seen it. Yeah, we were just mentioning that. Crypto the Super Dog. I like Crypto the Super Dog. It was a cute show. I'm going to put it in B tier. It was fine. Kenny the Shark was on Discovery Kids. Ah, gotcha. Man, we got so many people out tonight. This is incredible. The double-digit dream is real. Liberty's Kids. This was a good show, I think. It was solid. Had a lot of really cool like celebrity guest voices. Like celebrities that don't normally do voices. Yeah, nice little educational program for kids. Again, show your kids this, not what's on YouTube. Max and Ruby, it's a kids show. I've not seen that. I don't think I've ever watched the Mr. Bean show. You know, liked about it was that Crypto was voiced by. Is it? Oh, really? I didn't know that. The Mr. Bean show. I don't think I've ever seen it. I know about it, but I've never seen it. Mucha Lucha was a pretty funny show from what little of it I've seen. I'll give it a B tier. I liked the movie. The movie that came out that had like Penn and Teller in it for some reason. You do. When I say what's on YouTube, I mean like the algo slop. You know, the Sonic the Hedgehog, Poppy Playtime, Freddy Fazbear, Super Mario shill shit that people put out. That's what I mean. Coco, yeah. All that stuff. The mall, yeah, I saw. Okay, if you didn't see my Twitter post from a while ago, I was at a mall, and it was one of those like pop-up anime, quote unquote anime stores where they sell like shit people bought in bulk from like Alibaba or AliExpress. It was like plush toys and little bootleg keychains and stuff. And they had a big screen playing, and they had that shit playing on a big screen in a public place. I sent that video. Well, I tagged Jabroni Mike in that video because he does streams where he looks at that stuff. I guess he either didn't see it or he didn't respond. But yeah, that was kind of shocking that they would just play that in a public place like that. Thankfully, the store was empty, as well it should be. Anyway, my gym partner's a monkey. This show was fine, I guess. It's better than a lot of other stuff I've seen on Cartoon Network, but you know, I don't think it's very well liked. It's a funny concept. I like the concept behind it, but I don't know if it really, you know, landed with anybody. Ozzy and Drix, based on Osmosis Jones. I honestly remember the movie more than this. Jake the Spider Monkey, yeah. I mean, it was probably just a fine show on its own. This has the educational thing in it, because it did have like educational bits. So I'm gonna put it in B tier. I don't like the setup of it though, because originally they were in Bill Murray. They were inside Bill Murray's body, and like they had to put him inside of a kid because of a, you know, it's a kid's show. I felt like that was kind of like weird and forced. Switch teenagers with Let's switch teenagers with animals. Yeah, I mean it's a trope. It's a fish out of water story. Heh, fish. Anyway, Shaun the Sheep. I've not watched the Shaun the Sheep show, but I've seen the movie. So I'm gonna just put them in here. And speaking of sheep in a big city. I reviewed that a while ago. That was okay. There was a couple of good laughs out of that one, but it was just kind of an absurd concept. It's an okay show. It's perfectly fine. Speed Racer: The Next Generation. Wow, I forgot about that. This was a Nickelodeon show, yeah? Oh, man, I don't remember anything about it. I'm gonna put it in not seen because if I don't remember it, then technically I've not seen it, you know? Stanley, I don't know who Stanley is. I'm gonna put Stanley in not seen. Next Generation looks hideous. It's not, yeah, it's not the anime. It was like, they've done that before. I think Deke put out a very short-lived Speed Racer cartoon in the 80s. And it's a preschool. Okay, fine. Fair enough. And then, like, they keep trying to bring back Speed Racer, and it's just not gonna work. It's not that interesting. Unless it's got the weird, poorly dubbed lip flaps and, you know, cadences, it's not gonna be fun. So, Wayside, Nickelodeon show. I have seen some of this. It's like a wacky school with wacky kids. I remember it being okay. Apparently, it's very different from the books it's based on. But, I thought it was solid. Yeah. My favorite part about this show is the principal, who's this guy right here. He has a fear of children. And I always thought that was hilarious because, like, anytime one of the kids goes near him, he just freaks out. One of the better Canadian cartoons. I'm sure it's perfectly fine. Relatable character. Already the most relatable character in animation. Come on, they're not that bad. It's not like they're plotting against you or anything. Anyway. Maggot show at Nickelodeon special delivery or print. Yeah, okay. Not as good as Ed, Edd n Eddy. Probably not. Super Duper Sumos. I've not seen this, but I've heard it's really bad. We got the... the only thing I know about this is it got a Game Boy Advance game, and it has an infamously bad, like, cover art. Like it shows up on a lot of like top 10 worst game box art lists. Yeah, just look it up. Oh, Super Robot Monkey Team Hyperforce Go. I love this show. I wish I could watch it legitimately. S tier. You know what? Yes, it is an S tier show. Oh, they put it on Disney Plus? Really? Oh, okay. All right, cool. It's on Disney Plus. Good. Now people just need to discover it. Yeah, this show was like wacky and absurd. Fun fact, I believe the creators of this show went on to do 2012 Ninja Turtles, if I'm not mistaken. They also did Transformers Animated, because it was done in the same art style. But yeah, this show needs more recognition. I really liked it. I mean, it's got a great voice cast. You got Mark Hamill as the villain. It's got what's his name? Beast Boy. What's the voice actor's name? Craig Sipes. Yeah, Craig Sipes was the main character. Yeah, a lot of really good voice actors in this, and it's just overly absurd and wacky and kind of like disturbing in a couple episodes, if I could be completely honest. I don't know what this is. Timo Supremo? Don't know. The Emperor's New School. You know what? I've never seen this. I've known about it, but I've never watched it. And I love Emperor's New Groove. It's like it's one of the funniest animated movies of all time. But yeah, I never got around to watching. I'm guessing it's not as good as Kind of Funny. Yeah, I'm guessing it's not nearly as funny as the movie is too much of a strong start. Like this probably just could not live up to it. I've also never seen the Tarzan show. Yeah, I keep forgetting a lot of Disney shows had Disney movies had TV shows. And Disney just kind of forgot about them for some reason. What is this one? Ubos? What does that say? I don't know what this is, I don't think. So I'm just going to put it here for now. Funny as hell, even got Curtis Armstrong as a... Oh, really? I like Curtis Armstrong. Then we have Teutonstein. I know about the show. I've never seen it. Ultimate Book of Spells. Okay, I've definitely never seen it. It does not sound familiar to me. Whatever Happened to Robot Jones? Yeah, whatever did happen to Robot Jones. This show was fine, I guess. I think I liked it for its art style more than anything else because they seem to be mimicking like Schoolhouse Rock, like that, like very like throwback style. Double Duh. Yeah, I remember that. He was originally they originally voiced him by like Microsoft Sam or something, just like so he can have a robot voice, and then they replaced him with like an actor. Got done dirty, really. Yeah, best art style. Yeah, I did really. Again, it's a throwback to like old school, you know, Schoolhouse Rock or maybe like UPA or you know that era of animation. Winx Club. You know what? I don't think I've ever seen an episode of this. I have seen Witch though. Witch is very good. I'm gonna put that in A tier. This was a very good show. Robot Joe. Oh, is he really? He's one of the people that worked on Powerpuff Girls, if I'm not mistaken. Didn't Wiseman work on which? Did he? I don't know. What is this? Something Quest. This does not look familiar to me. I'm gonna put that there. Yin Yang Yo is a show that I'm aware of, but I don't think I've ever watched. Ben 10, though. I've seen Ben 10, of course. I liked Ben 10, but Alien Force is where the series peaked. This show was good. This show was better. And then everything else after that just kind of slowly went downhill. Season 1 and 2 is peak. Yeah, when it gets to Ultimate Alien, that's when the decline happens. Like, this was a strong comeback from this. Like, this was great. Like, conceptually, this was great. Like, the designs were great. The sci-fi was great. The references to other things were great. Relatively original idea, too. And then they did this, which was great. And then, again, after that, it just kind of petered off. And they never rebooted Ben 10 again. Chowder. I like Chowder. I give Chowder... You know what? Chowder goes in A tier. The show is very... It's a delightful little show. It's got a lot of creativity. Very funny. I like the mixed media approach to it, where like characters were animated. Some of them were like puppets. I like that stuff. C.H. Greenblatt is a very, very funny cartoon creator. Clone High. You know what? I gotta watch the revival. I still haven't seen it. One of the few shows didn't overstay its welcome. Oh, Chowder, yes. And it had an ending, too. Currently making a show. Oh, is he really? Hey, Freakbot. It is indeed pizza time. Here's Ninja Turtles right here. What was I gonna say? Oh, he's doing a show for Disney. Is he not doing Jellystone anymore? Because I'm gonna be honest, I saw season 2 of Jellystone and it was funnier than season 1. Codename Kids Next Door is a show that has no business being as good as it is. The Clone High revival is better. Really? That's surprising. It's real good. It's okay. Well, I guess I'll watch it and make my own decision. The OG series. Oh, really? That's cool. How did they? Yeah, okay, that was surprising to me. There was an episode where the band Gwar did music for this. And it was kind of great. Honestly, what sold me on this show, really, like, okay, first of all, it was very creative. It was very funny. The characters were fun. The thing that sold that to me was the movie, Operation Zero. The way that the finale of that movie is what really like elevated this series for me. Like, it's one thing if you grow up on it and it's like, okay, yeah, I was not roughly the age group for this at the time, but I saw it, I liked it, but then the movie came out, and the movie is what really did it for this series for me. Danny Phantom, a show I did not watch initially, but I did really, I've not seen all of it, but I did like what I've seen of it. You watched every episode, huh? I need to revisit Danny Phantom one of these days. But I did really like it. This might go up on my list if I don't watch season 3. Really? Why not? Not good? Oh no. Two of their... Yeah, I remember. I think I showed them to you when I found them. Go Star, Shipwrecks VA, or kids. Yes. Frank Welker was number 1's dad, if I'm not mistaken. And he did a really good job too. And who was the other guy? Father. Who voiced him? Was that that was Johnny Bravo's voice actor. What the hell is his name? Jeff Bennett. Jeff Bennett, right, Jeff Bennett. Frank Welker is everywhere. As well he should be. Until he's ready to retire. It was Gore and the Private Pain Techno. Yeah, Freakbot's a huge Gwar fan, so he was able to identify those songs. Oh no, that was Maurice LaMarche. Wait, no, it wasn't. I'm getting my voice actors confused. All right, let's move on. Let's move on. We still have a lot to get through here. El Tigre, a show that I know people like, and I've not seen it. I've seen other things that George Gutierrez has done, like The Book of Life. And even not having seen the show, I can tell, his style. Oh, Maurice voiced... Oh, did he? I could have sworn it was... Okay, all right, never mind. Anyway, The Mighty Bee, another show that I've not seen. Again, this is going to be very full. Just so you know. It's already pretty full. Back at the Barnyard, I've not seen it. I've heard it's not good. Maybe it's probably the... Most cartoons made by comedians, and Mighty Bee is probably the exception. Really? Most cartoons... Bad or good? Back in the Barnyard is funny, really? Well, I've not seen it, so it's going in here anyway. Duck Dodgers, starring Daffy Duck and Marvin the Martian, two of my favorite Looney Tunes. This show was really good. I like that. That goes in A tier. Very funny. They took what essentially was just like one Looney Tunes short and made it an entire show. And it was just great. The Samurai Jack parody was great. The Green Lantern parody was great. Every episode had like a celebrity voice actor guest. And the Martian, yes, I know people love the Martian Queen. Billy West was in an episode. Billy West did some work on it. There was an episode where they were on a game show, and the game show the game show host was Dane Cook, who of course was, popular at the time. Fillmore, I know of this show, I've not seen it. Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends, very good show. Gonna put that in A tier. Again, the movie, the one where they were looking for, they were looking for what's his name, Wilt's original creator. I think that's just like with Kids Next Door. That's what like elevated it for me. Like the show was great on its own, but that movie was good. Yes, Dave Mustaine from yes, that might be my favorite episode too. Then there was that one time Dave Mustaine fought off the Martian invasion with rock. It was originally going to have a preschool reboot. Really? I'm glad it didn't. 2002 Masters of the Universe, the next review that I'm going to be putting out. In my opinion, this is what a good reboot should be. This is the gold standard. Take all the good things and elevate them and improve on all the bad things. This is how it's done right here. It does have some problems, some minor problems, but as far as like it as a reboot goes, yeah, it's up there. Invader Zim, another one of my favorite Nickelodeon shows. I'm gonna put that in S tier because I love Invader Zim. Jackie Chan Adventures. I have only seen, I think, season 1 of Jackie Chan Adventures. I did like it. I think that's enough for me to. I'll give it a B tier only because I haven't seen more beyond season 1. I might move it up if I ever, get to watching the rest of it. B-ish. It's really good. Yeah. Definitely one of the better celebrity cartoons, even though Jackie Chan was only in like the live action segments. Fun fact, the voice actor of Jackie Chan is the cabbage guy from Avatar. Did you know that? I was shocked the day I discovered that. Tech, yeah, I recognize the show, but I don't think I've ever seen it. I thought this was like a PlayStation game when I first saw it. Apparently it was a TV show first. There's also Hojo in Final Fantasy VII. Is he really? Wow. They do say yes. He also, I believe, plays the character in live action in the live action Avatar TV show, which apparently is good and or bad. I don't know. I've been getting many conflicting informations. Jimmy Neutron, didn't really see it because, too old at the time. I had a cousin who really liked it though. A very young cousin. Fairly Odd Parents, I've only seen a little bit of it. It's alright from what I've seen. I'm gonna be safe and put it in never seen because I feel like I've not seen enough of it. Kim Possible, I think I've only seen the first season. I did like it. I'm going to put her in B tier only because, again, I have not seen, it's the same with these shows right here. It's just I haven't seen enough of it. I did like it, but I didn't like the school stuff. You guys know how I feel about school in shows. Really Up in SpongeBob where new seasons are A tier, few seasons are A tier. Okay, yeah, I know. Ron Stoppable was the best character in the show. I do remember really liking him. The pirate. Yeah, but you know I don't like school. Which is weird because I came up with a show that I need to get on the script for in case I ever want to pitch it to somebody. Which I do break my own rule and I have the characters in school. And I don't like it, but unfortunately it kind of works around the plot, but I won't say any more of that. Yeah, and well, I mean, to me those were always the weakest parts. It's like I want to see Spider-Man fight Green Goblin. I don't want to see him be late for class. Daria is just an all-around good show. Speaking of which, Megas XLR is S tier, and no one will convince me otherwise. Phineas and Ferb is also S tier. Love Phineas and Ferb. Some of these I don't really need to say much about. Samurai Jack is S tier. Of course. Then we got Clone Wars. We got the Genndy Tartakovsky Clone Wars. And we have CGI Clone Wars. Tartakovsky's Clone Wars is definitely S tier. Dig giant robots. And Clone Wars, the TV show, I'm going to put in A tier. Only because not all of it was great. Occasionally there'd be an episode or a story arc that was just kind of alright. B or C, really? I mean, I guess the show was pretty repetitive at times, but I like the mentality of it. I like the concept of it. I like the message behind it. And it had a good ending. And the movie was really good too. Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy. Again, not all of it was great, but I'll put it in A tier. A lot of it was very funny. The Proud Family, I have actually not seen, believe it or not. Less cynical, Ed, Edd and Eddy. That's an interesting way of putting it. Alright, so Secret Saturdays, extremely underrated show. That goes in A tier. That'll go in A tier next to Ben 10 Alien Force. I am... The show had an ending at the very least, but I just... It was so... It was like a throwback sci-fi adventure show. Yeah. I mean, like I said, it had an ending, but at least... If a show at least, you know, has an ending and a send-off, that's good enough for me. But, yeah, it's a shame just most people don't really talk about it anymore. Time Squad was a pretty funny show. I like the concept, again. Sometimes I just like a show conceptually, but sometimes it doesn't always pan out. But I did like how they would go to like historical figures and they'd be all messed up. Yes, I know there was a crossover with Omniverse. Unfortunately, it was Omniverse and not, you know, the good Ben 10. Anyway, yeah, it was pretty funny. It was solid. Transformers Animated, speaking of which, probably, if I had to pick, my second favorite Transformers. And you know what? People dismissed this show because of the art style. They are wrong. They brought back Wreck-Gar, and they had him voiced by Weird Al. That's all I have to say. Oh boy, Wak Fu. I did really like Wak. I don't think I've seen all of Wak Fu, but I did like it. At least it didn't have an ending. Yeah. It's a shame. What's new, Scooby-Doo? Not Mystery Incorporated. It was an okay, it was solid, okay Scooby-Doo show. It's about as good as most of the other Scooby-Doo shows can be, so, you know. Shaolin Showdown was a very, very good show also. Again, I like the concept. I like the characters. Danny Cooksey, the voice of Jack Spicer, and I regret this, a couple of weeks ago was doing autographs at an arcade not far from where I live. And I totally forgot about it, and I wanted to go meet him, and I didn't. Very upset about that. This is nice Christmas music. But, yeah, I wish... Oh, man, why didn't I go see him? It's my voice, new version, obscure. Yeah, he was the voice... Oh, okay, you're talking about, the more recent Transformers, okay. I was like, well, yeah, what are you talking about? He was Rekgar. Sequel was Shell... Yeah, no, we don't talk about that. We don't talk about that. That was, when Disney took over. And they ruined it. Anyway, 12-ounce mouse. What am I supposed to do with this? I don't remember really liking this show that much. But, yeah, a D tier. It's not as bad as these two, in my opinion. Yeah. 3 South, a very obscure MTV show. It was okay. Put it in D tier. Forgettable, honestly. American Dad. I think American Dad's very funny. But it's not the greatest show ever. Better than Family Guy, in my opinion. Aqua Teen Hunger Force. Okay. Aqua Teen Hunger Force is great, but it's also very hit or miss. Like, some episodes are like instant classics. Others are just forgettable filler. The best McFarlane. Yeah, I agree. American Dad started out as like lol conservatives. And then it just went... It just like leaned into just the weird. And it is so much better for that. Would be an F tier? Yeah. Archer. I have not seen a whole lot of Archer, surprisingly. I think I've seen season 1 and like scattered episodes, but I've not seen. But I do really like it. I think I've seen enough of it to call it an A tier. Might move up to S if I see more of it. Who knows? Yeah, it is hilarious. I mean, I've said it before. John Benjamin is like just naturally funny. He is just a naturally. He has the voice. He has the cadence. He has like he could just speak, and it's just comedy. That's why he does a lot of voice acting. Clerks, the animated series. Wait, that was 2000s? I thought this was the 90s. It was oh, okay, so it just made it. Okay, alright, fair enough. Clerks, it was a very short-lived show, but the very little that it lasted, it left a huge impact. That's something. Got done dirty from the networks, from what I understand, which is why it was so short-lived. Who is driving? Bear's driving! How can that be? Alright, speaking of McFarlane, here's the Cleveland show, which honestly, not as good as American Dad, but I think is also a lot better than Family Guy. It's funny, when you remove all like the Family Guy cutaway gags, you kind of get a half-decent show out of it. Maybe a little something for McFarlane to think about. Anyway, scrolling down too much. Frisky Dingo, the prototype for Archer. I really liked Frisky Dingo. You know what? I'm going to put it right next to Archer. Because it was very funny. After what? Oh, is it really that bad? I've heard mixed things about it. I don't know if it's like horrible or what, but I've heard like both. I've heard like, the trailer didn't do it right, and then people are just like, yeah, it sucks. God, the Devil, and Bob. Yes, this show certainly existed. I remember it. I think I've only seen like a little bit of it. It seems fine, but I'm gonna put it in never seen just because I've not seen a whole lot of it. Harvey Birdman, attorney at law. A tier. Early 2000s, Adult Swim was peak Adult Swim in my opinion, because you got Aqua Teen Hunger Force, you got Birdman, you got C-Lab, where we just saw C-Lab. There's C-Lab. C-Lab is an unfortunate case though, because it was so funny, and then one of the funniest characters in the show's voice actor passed away, and they tried to make it work, and it kind of did, but it just wasn't the same. It just wasn't, and it's not the show's fault. Did you get that thing I sent you? Nope. No, I didn't get that thing you sent me. I never get that thing you sent me. I love that moment where he just goes off on Peter Potamus, and then he starts crying. Oh wait, I think I did get that thing you sent me. Oh god, Metalocalypse, great. I love Metalocalypse. Another show that I think is a little bit repetitive, but it's good for what it is. Robot Chicken. Okay, I love Robot Chicken, but very hit or miss. Sometimes good. As the show went on, I think things started to decline a little bit, because they started running out of, like, references of old stuff, and they had to go to new stuff, and it just wasn't as funny. The 100th episode, though, is amazing. Just, they did, like, a full, several minute long, like, no cut, like, single shot, stop motion fight, and it was so good. It was a reference to, what's the name of that movie? The Protector. If you look up on YouTube, there's a video, I think it's called, like, single shot fight scene or something, and it's this, like, kung fu movie, and it was just a one long shot of a guy running upstairs, like, beating people up. Yeah, they did a reference to that as the 100th episode, and it's even more impressive because it's stop motion. I can't imagine how long that must have taken to make. That had to have been, like, months. They had to prep that for, like, probably years in advance. They did a skit that was a parody of... Yes, okay, I remember that one. That one was pretty funny. Just because of the deep cuts. Squidbillies certainly was a show. It was kind of funny. Put that in B tier. Super Jail. Okay, alright. Hot take. Super Jail is mostly remembered for its animation. The animation is what really sold it. Just the very detailed, fluid, just like gore. It is fun to watch if you're, you know, okay with that kind of thing. I'll put it in B tier. Sorry, He-Man. You should have played that when I put the Masters of the Universe up here. Life on the outside ain't what it used to be. Yeah. The Boondocks was very good at the beginning. Once Aaron McGruger left, that's when things went downhill, unfortunately. What is this one? Tim? Something Tim? I don't know what this is. I'm gonna put it here. Season 1 S, Season 2 S, Season 3 A, Season 4 D. That sounds about right. The Oblongs. Weird ass show, but I kind of like it. I'm gonna put Oblongs in B tier. The Venture Brothers. You know what? I need to go back and watch Venture Brothers. But I did really like it. Tripping the Rift. Oof. Here's how old I am. I remember downloading the pilot of this show off of Kaza. And not knowing what the fuck it was. And then the show came on Sci-Fi. And I think it was kind of bad. But I don't really remember. I'm going to put it in an F tier. Actually, I'll put it in D tier. It does not deserve to be next to Johnny Test. Alright. Undergrads. Ooh, this is an interesting one. So, this show came out... this is a show about 4 guys leaving high school, going to college. And a couple of them went to different colleges, but they stayed in touch. This show came out when I left high school. And I had 3 other friends. We all went to different colleges. We tried to stay in touch. Unfortunately, we kind of lost touch. So this show is actually a little bit personal for me. Even though I don't remember being that good, but it's weird that that came out like right about the time when, you know, I was, you know, doing the same thing the characters were doing in the show. Getting a movie? Really? Huh. You know what? I'm gonna put it up. I'll put it in B tier. Just because I have like a weird attachment to it. Like the timing of its release was very, very strange. Delta Static. I don't know what this is. 16. AKA watered down Total Drama Island. I liked the zombie Halloween special. And the rest of it was eh. Yeah, you know what? C tier. The zombie, I like that for some reason the mall security guard was Christopher Walken. I don't know why they made him Christopher Walken, but I thought that was kind of funny. Delta State is a fully rotoscope car. Oh, interesting. I don't think I've ever seen it. Action Man, aka the UK's G.I. Joe. I've never seen this. Oh god, Evolution, the animated series. This is based off the movie Evolution. I've seen a little bit of this. I almost did a cartoon clip show on it. It's not very good. It's not the worst show. It's not the worst thing I've seen, but it's not very good. It's kind of bland, honestly. They tried to... Okay, the movie was basically supposed to do like what Ghostbusters did, where it's like wacky sci-fi thing, and then comedy with comedy characters. And honestly, the movie's kind of solid. It's pretty funny. It works. The show, they tried to lean into it a little too much, and it just wasn't. The only thing I liked about the show was they established that the aliens were continuing to evolve, and the characters had to like come up with, you know, new things to take them down. Yeah, Ghostbusters with aliens. In fact, I think Ivan Reichman worked on it, and Dan Aykroyd was actually in the movie as I guess like a little guest appearance. Anyway, American Dragon Jake Long. I know a lot of people like it. I have not seen it. Yeah. But, I mean, they did the concept very well. Adam? Something Adam. I don't know what this is. Art changes between... Oh, okay. Baby Looney Tunes. I have not seen this, but I think I would not like it. American Dragons that apparently had 4 really F tier. All right, well I'm sure it is F tier, but I'm gonna put it in never seen because I've not seen it. Chalk Zone. Okay, I actually kind of liked this show. I've seen a little bit of it. I'm gonna put it in B tier. I like, again, a show I like it conceptually. And I remember the episode with the Baja Men. You know, Who Let the Dogs Out? Yeah, underrated. I would definitely call it underrated. Interesting fact about the show. I believe the creators at the time were in their 40s. And this was like their first show. Which gives hope to someone like me. That's a little something I'll hold on to. Chris Colorado. I don't know what that is. Sounds like a bootleg Indiana Jones. Put in the time. You put the time. Or the lime in the coconut, rather. My eyes are going bad. Alright, guys. I think a lot of you know my opinion of Code Lyoko, but I'm going to reiterate it anyway. I don't like it. Not a fan of Code Lyoko. That's one of those shows people are very, very nostalgic for. It's not very good. I wanted to like it. Again, conceptually I liked it, but the execution was bad. And the reset button, you don't do that in a show. Stuff passed because, yeah. Forgettable? Okay. Alright. Hopefully I won't get too many people breaking down my door because I said I didn't like Code Lyoko. Dave the Barbarian. I've seen a little bit of Dave the Barbarian. I do kind of like it. I'm going to put it in C tier for now, but had I seen more of it, it might move up. The only thing... The reason why I went to go see this show in the first place was I found out through like a little radio... Someone mentioned it on the radio that the guys of Metallica voiced a bunch of dragons in the show, and I was like, that's kind of awesome. Yeah, if I see more of it, and maybe if I get more exposure to it, I'll move it up. But yeah, I thought they were going to be like regular characters, but apparently they were just in like one episode. Seems like kind of a waste. Anyway. Evil Con Carne. The spin-off of Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy. I don't think I've seen... okay, I remember from the Billy and Mandy show, but I don't think I've seen a lot of like the show on its own. Yeah, not as good as Billy and Mandy, I don't think. I'll put it in C tier. I'm sure it's probably fine. It's like if yeah. Dial M for Monkey would have been better though. The Amazing Misadventures of Flapjack. This show was pretty funny, but there were moments in it where it was just like really hard to look at. It going back to like stuff like Class B Cuspo having like horrifying designs that really don't go with the show. I remember, okay, I kind of respect the show more than I like it. You think, yeah. Chowder was better. Where's Chowder? Chowder was better, because these two shows came out about the same time. Yeah, Chowder was the better show. Funky Cops. Okay, I've seen one episode of this, and that's enough for me to put it in fucking F tier. It's not good. Huntic. I remember it existed. I have not seen it. Kong, the King Kong anime series, not seen it. League of Super Evil, I'm aware of it, not seen it. Funky, just watch an episode. It's not good. Almost very one, animation worked with, yeah, I know, Thorup Van Ormond. He was the voice of Flapjack. He was also the voice of Little Gideon in, Gravity Falls. What's his name from Adventure Time worked on it as well. Pendleton Ward, and that spun off into Adventure Time. Yeah, I respect the show. I just am not in a hurry to go back and say it. Lilo and Stitch, the series, not as good as the movie, but I did really like it. D-tier show, maybe I gotta rewatch it, but I remember not liking it. Lloyd in Space, I've not seen it. Lunatics Unleashed. You go in F tier, where you belong. I can't... Okay, the day I found out that the people that made this are the creators of SWAT Cats, I was shocked. But also not shocked, because I'm like, oh wait, this is totally their style. If this had been like its own thing and not the Looney Tunes, maybe it would have been passable. But, yeah. Max Steel, the show that keeps getting rebooted over and over and over and over again. That adds up so hard. I know, right? Max Steel. I don't think I've seen any version of Max Steel. It's a show that shows up every once in a while. It's like, oh, they're rebooting that again, huh? Alright, here's My Life as a Teenage Robot. I did really like this. I don't think I've seen the full show, but I did like it quite a bit. Oh, wow. Silverwing. This is an obscure show that I have actually seen. Silverwing is, it's a show about bats, and it's based on a book series. And it was a very short-lived animated series. It was kind of interesting. It wasn't great, but I did kind of like it. I'll put it in B tier. I might have to, like, rewatch it at some point. Maybe I'll do a review on it. What is this? Sorry if my VTuber, like, freaks out, because I have to, like, lean into some of these images. Skyland. I don't think I've seen Skyland. Stormhawks, I remember seeing. I think is a little bit underrated. I was X-Men were essentially forced to do the Goliath Chronicles. Crazy, but I can't. Yeah, Stormhawks was pretty good. I think it's a little underrated. Okay, speaking of underrated, The Mummy, the animated series. I remember actually kind of liking this. I'll put that in B tier. Very rare movie, TV show based on a movie that's decent. Take that for what it's worth. Penguins of Madagascar, I've never seen it. The Replacements, I know of it, I've never seen it. The X's, I know of it, never seen it. Might get through these last ones very quickly. Whatever this, what is that? Zero Man? Never heard of it. Never seen it. Jimmy Two Shoes. Okay. This is like that. He's like a kid in like a monster world or something, right? It's another fish out of water story like this one. I don't think I've seen much of it. Macho Man, Randy Savage voice. Really? Oh, that's great. I don't think I've seen enough of this to make a judgment. Being Ian, I've been aware of this show, but I've never seen it. Oh god, George of the Jungle. You know, weirdly, I was thinking about this show today for some reason. F tier for George of the Jungle. It's forgettable. Apparently, the show went on longer than the TV series. What is this music that's playing? Oh, it's still Stardew Valley. Okay. Apparently, the TV show went on, like... Yeah, it had a second season on YouTube, and apparently it's weird. Like, the show got weird. That's... I don't know what to make of that. I mean, Who wanted George of the Jungle in the 2000s anyway? Don't as my... Yeah. My first exposure to George of the Jungle was the original cartoons. Because I think they reran them on Nickelodeon with Rocky and Bullwinkle. Anyway, oh god, Magi Nation. I am aware of this. Wow. Okay. Magi Nation, for those of you who don't know, was it was a Pokemon competitor. It had a Game Boy Color game, which I actually own, and it was also a card game. It's basically Pokemon, except you're in a dream world, and you get like little dream creatures as your little friends. It had a TV show. It was on at like 6 a.m. on Saturday, which should say enough about it. Sound like a Dungeons and Dragons ripoff? It would be if it was any good. I remember the show not being very good. Honestly, it was one I was considering for Cartoon Clip Show. At some point. But, that's... we put a pin in that one. Oh, Dragon Hunters. I remember this show was on, Cartoon Network. The Cure did the theme song for this show. Which I thought was kind of cool. It was alright. It was a French cartoon. It was like this little guy and this big dude, and they fought dragons. And it was like heavy on comedy. It had a CGI movie. It was, I guess, alright. Checking out the original Rugrats. Really? I mean, alright. I mean, Rugrats was fine. Martian Mysteries. I'm aware of this one. Never seen it. Early Simpsons vibe, really? Maybe I totally spies. Yeah, I can definitely see the influence. Oh, speaking of Totally Spies, here it is. Okay, I've not seen a lot of Totally Spies. From what I remember of it, it's just it's alright. Apparently people really like it. I'm gonna put it in C tier. We're almost at the end here. Atomic Betty. Wow, that's a show I forgot about. Apparently this show was more popular overseas than it was in the US. It was okay. It was fine. It's a fine show. She was like whack. It was kind of a throwback sci-fi. You know, whenever you do like throwback science fiction, yeah, I kind of like that stuff. You know, you get like... She's like, you know, like Ooh La La from Space Channel 5. And, you know, have like a girl with antennas and wacky blasters and stuff. I kind of like that style. And finally, we have Total Drama Island. I've said it before and I'll say it again. The show peaked in season 1. And it... Fantastic! And it kind of declined from there. In my opinion. Woo! We at the end. Yeah. There it is. Got all the S tiers up here. 2000s was kind of hit or miss. In my opinion. Like, the hits were hits. The misses were kind of eh. And we got a couple in between that are a little underrated. Alright, well, there we go. We are now about at the 2-hour mark, or close to it. What should we do? Okay, so next one we got is, yes, I did. We were talking about it. I've done 90s. I'm pretty sure I did 80s as well. And I did 2010s also. You're gonna have to go check the VODs on YouTube and see what I've done. So, how about we do a relatively short one after this long one? I have Warner Brothers animated films. I've done a lot of animated films also. I don't think I've done Warner Brothers. 80s for did I not? I could have sworn I did like tier list for 80s. Huh. Alright, maybe we'll rectify that some other time. So, I don't know if I've done Warner Brothers animated. I don't know if we've got any more, like, animation studios, like, left. I think this might be the last one. I've done Pixar, I've done Disney, I've done DreamWorks, I've done Blue Sky, I've done Illumination. Let's use this video to split Warner Brothers what they created before they turn. Oh God. There was a post about Coyote versus Acme, and apparently they still have no interest in selling the movie, and they're waiting for the uproar to die down. Did I do Studio Ghibli? I might have done Studio Ghibli. I feel like I did, or at least I've done, you know, I've done them in some form. Anyway, Warner Brothers. 50 Yeah, I know, right? So I'm sure that there's still going to be some uproar about it. Anyway, let me go ahead and do this. Add row below. Let me take my keyboard out of the drawer and do this. What am I doing? I'm like punching down. There we go. You always got to have that. You got to have the I've not experienced this thing before bracket on tier lists. All right. Ninjago movie. Never seen it. The Lego movie, however. I'm gonna, you know, man, A tier or S tier? I'm gonna put it in S tier. Lego movie is very good. Also change the color. Okay. Darkness. Well, now you can't see the text. Poiple. You'll be Poiple. Because we don't have Poiple. Okay, the Lego Movie 2 I've not seen. Legend of the Guardians, the Owls of Gaul. I think this is very underrated, this movie. Fun fact. I saw this movie in IMAX 3D. There is a scene in this movie where an owl vomits up a hairball directly into the screen. I saw that in IMAX 3D. Well worth the price of admission. Anyway, but yeah, it is a very good and underrated movie in my opinion, with a good message behind it too. There are no winners in war. That's what it was. That's what it was trying to say. Happy Feet was adorable, but that's about all it is. Middle of the road. B tier. Lord of the Rings 1978 movie. Sadly not getting any. No. Sad, really? I mean, yeah, I guess now that I'm remembering how it ended, yeah. It was alright, though. The Polar Express. The only proper way to experience this movie is if you watch it in IMAX. Otherwise, it's fine. And it's got, very, very interesting, dead-eyed, realistic, uncanny valley humans in it. Also, Tom Hanks is everywhere. Yeah, the music was very good. Okay, The Ant Bully, I've not seen. I actually keep getting this movie confused with another movie. It's called Arthur and the Invisibles, which is another movie about a boy who shrinks and goes into his garden. Weird, and I think they came out around the same time, too. But I've not seen this movie. Okay, here's another Smallfoot. I've not seen this either. I thought this was a DreamWorks movie, but I got it confused with what was the DreamWorks movie with like wasn't there a DreamWorks movie with like a Yeti or something? Or did I hallucinate that? Abominable. Okay, yeah. So we have two movies about a kid who shrinks and goes into his garden. And we have two movies about a human befriending a Yeti. And they both have come out around the same time. The movie killed animation. Really? Wow. That's impressive. Anyway, Iron Giant is going in S tier. I don't think I need to say any more about that. Scoob is a very divisive movie, but I kind of liked it. I'll put it in A tier. Anywhere below... I know. Oh god, Quest for Camelot. This movie was weird. It's not a horrible movie, but it's not great. Like, it has a lot of good ideas, but it just doesn't really pan out, you know? I have a plan, it includes you. CGI Ninja Turtles movie, TMNT. Man, I don't remember much about this movie. It's fantastic. It's weird that this movie exists. And it's weird that it's like it was the first animated Ninja Turtles movie, which is kind of sad. I was going to say it's the only one, but then Mutant Mayhem came out. Yeah, Ralph and Leo. I remember the Raph and Leo fight. Apparently this movie was supposed to be it was supposedly a sequel to the live action franchise, although it doesn't I don't think it really works that well as a sequel. Apparently it was supposed to spin off some other movies, but it never happened. But anyway, Looney Tunes back in action. I don't think people dislike this movie. I don't think it's as bad as people say, but it's not the best, unfortunately. Osmosis Jones, however, I think I liked a little bit more. If only because of Bill Murray and Chris Rock. Better than Space Jam? Yeah, a little bit. Honestly, I would put it about on the same level as the first Space Jam, which I think we're gonna be coming up to. Yeah. Also, the second one's there too. We'll deal with them in a minute. Storks, very underrated. Very underrated. Storks. It's a movie no one talks about. They never talked about it when it came out, and they're not talking about it now, but they should. Oh god, a troll in Central Park. Oh, 90s Don Bluth. Mako Splinter. Yeah. It had a lot going for it. I'm not saying it's bad. It had a lot going for it. I just don't remember it that much. Don Bluth, he probably should. Again, it's not a horrible movie, but I'll put it in S tier. It's got nice animation. It's got good voice acting. It's just not a good movie. It's not horrible, but it's not good. Thumbelina, I believe, I recently read, Thumbelina is the first animated movie to win a Razzie. That's why it won the Razzie, actually. That is actually why it won the Razzie, because of that song. That's incredible to me. Yeah. Corpse Bride. I would say this is underrated, but I think it's starting to gain popularity lately. I've been seeing a lot of. It's not as good as Nightmare Before Christmas, but it's a lot of people are starting to appreciate it a little more, and I think that's good. Lego Batman movie, not as good as the Lego movie, but a very good Batman movie, like a Batman comedy movie, but that also kind of understands Batman for the most part. Also really good voice cast. Okay, here's Space Jam. That goes in D tier. The Clone Wars movie was okay. It was not a good introduction to Clone Wars. But it was decent. Thankfully Clone Wars improved as it aged, but the movie was not a good introduction to it. I know a lot of cynical Star Wars fans that dismissed this movie because they didn't like, you know, the prequels and the overuse of CGI. And then suddenly, you know, a fully CGI Star Wars movie comes out. And, yeah. Didn't go over well at the time, but, you know, the TV show was at least better. Baby yeah. Oh, God. Yes, okay. I'll give Space Jam that. I liked LeBron James's Looney Tunes design. It's very good. Tom and Jerry. Is this the recent Tom and Jerry movie? Or is that the original one? That's the recent one. Okay, I haven't seen it. Okay, Space Jam original. As much as I'm not a big fan of it, it's all right. It's a fun novelty. It's a nostalgic novelty. Watch the original stuff, but story, yeah. Lola Bunny, yeah. Lola Bunny, yup. Happy Feet 2, I've not seen. The King and I, wow. If I remember correctly, this is, I think, the last thing that Rankin Bass did. Or at least, I think it was the last thing Rankin Bass did. It was okay. It made sense. Oh, really? Oh, okay. All right. Well, it was one of the last things Rankin Bass. It was okay. It's not great, but it's okay. Cats Don't Dance is a great movie. S tier. The Crypto the Superdog movie. I've not seen it, but I've heard it's not very good, and that makes me very upset. And the Powerpuff Girls movie, which is very good. Very underrated. Kind of done dirty, I think, by Cartoon Network a little bit. But yeah. Alright. So there's Warner Brothers animated films ranked. You only see it, yeah. I think it bombed, and that's why they didn't do any movies for a while. It's a shame, because it is very good. Ugh, God. Well, that is Warner Brothers animated films. If I missed any other studios that I've not done animated films for, be sure to submit that for the next time we do this. Let's see, we're at the 2-hour mark, so what shall we do now? I guess we can do one more short one. And then I have some other ones here open up, but we'll do a short one. And then I think we'll stop and we'll switch over to something else. Because that 2000s one kind of ate up a lot of time. Alright, we'll do this one that Movie Brat submitted. Marvel Cinematic Universe Phase 4 tier list. Which is pretty short. So I think we can knock this one out real quick. Am I going to do more in the future? We'll do them like every once in a while as a little break. I know we used to do them monthly, but I think we should. They get a little repetitive, and I feel like we are like overlapping a lot of stuff. So maybe, you know, every once in a while, I'll make an announcement. Whenever we do this. So just keep an eye on my Twitter. Right now, you know, we're going through a big game. And, you know, when we do, like, a big game and we finish, we want to take a little break in between. So maybe we'll do another one. In the meantime, just search for them. Hold on to them. If you want to send them to me anyway, I have a bookmark folder just full of ones we haven't done. All right, so Uh, anything? Some of these were all right. I mean, Multiverse of Madness was pretty good. I mean, it's it's Doctor Strange. I like Doctor Strange. We're starting to get into the multiverse finally. I'm not showing it on screen. It wasn't perfect, but I mean, it's Sam Raimi, for God's sake. It is a very Sam Raimi movie with superheroes. The Eternals. The Eternals was okay. They need to do more with the Eternals I think for people to like warm up to them a little bit. But it was probably the weirdest installment so far. Wakanda Forever I have actually not seen. I have not even seen the Black Widow movie. I'm a little bit behind in some of the Marvel stuff. Okay, Hawkeye. I'm going to be honest, of all the Marvel okay. Secret Invasion was pretty bad. Let's all agree on that one. Eternal should have been a show. You know what? I agree. I think it should have been a show. Hawkeye, I was going to say, was probably the weakest of the Marvel TV shows, in my opinion. Then Secret Invasion was like, hold my beer. I watched one episode of Secret Invasion, and I was like, I'm done. I can't get into this for some reason. Hawkeye was okay. Secret Invasion existing, it keeps it from being horrible. Honestly, it wasn't even horrible. It was just kind of whatever. If it wasn't centered around Christmas, I guarantee no one would care about this. Loki, however, is up there for me. I like Loki, especially with the second season. Lot of creativity in that show, and I love it. Moon Knight also was very good. Moon Knight is great because it is probably the most detached from the MCU. So you can watch it without having... If you just know the character, you're good. And they barely mention anything else from any other show or movie, so it's very easy to pick up and watch. Just took a dump on it. So I've heard. Miss Marvel. Miss Marvel was alright. I don't have any problems with it. Falcon and Winter Soldier was very good too, but it's not S tier. The dynamic with Sam and Bucky, I think, is what really saved it. Also, Zemo. Baron Zemo dancing. Shang-Chi. I did really like Shang-Chi. This is another thing they need to do more with. Especially considering they kind of left off on a major plot point. Spider-Man No Way Home was decent, and I think the novelty of having all the Spider-Mans together was really good. We've not seen anything with Spider-Man in a while. So I'm kind of wondering, what the plan for Spider-Man is. And where they're going to go with it, considering how this ended. I won't spoil it. People, you know what? Yeah. Yeah, okay. Yeah. That's fair. I think it is S tier. Thor: Love and Thunder, I think, gets a bit of a bad rap. I feel like people hated this a little too much. It's not the best Thor movie, but honestly, if I'm going to be real, I think the best Thor movie was the first one. But it's all right. I liked it. I like the character of I like the villain in it and his reasons for doing what he did. I like that they're doing more with like the galactic side of Marvel. And it introduced Hercules, which I'm hoping, you can't see it, but I'm crossing my fingers that they do him well when they show him again. I just want him to be like he was in the old Thor cartoon. You don't have to make any changes. Just have him be that. He was great. He was great in that. WandaVision. I really liked WandaVision. It was a good... I like the references to, like, the TV shows and how it all tied together with Wanda. And, Ragnarok is the... You think it's the best Thor movie? I think it's a good Thor movie. We can all agree Dark World is, you know, the worst one. And finally, we have What If. I've not seen season 2 of What If, but I did like What If. Mostly hit or miss for me, but What If was very good. Yeah, well, I mean, that's kind of the point, you know. She's I mean, that is kind of how they played her up in Multiverse of Madness too. Like she's not being a hero anymore. Really amped up their game for X-Men. Yeah. I really, I think whatever is going to happen with Deadpool is basically gonna be the direction the rest of the MCU goes moving forward. At least I think that's how it's gonna go. All right. Well, that is little more than 2 hours of tier lists. Yeah, I think they're trying to get back. Like they've hit some bumps along the way, but there's been some good stuff. You know, the Guardians movies, Spider-Man. Some of the shows have been really good. They just need to focus. And I've said it before and I'll say it again. The reason why the first couple of phases worked was because everything tied around Thanos and the Infinity Stones. Everything, like, was referenced to the Infinity Stones, or the Infinity Stones were a major plot point, or Thanos was you know, he was built up to be the big bad. Current MCU does not have that. They kind of did it with Kang, although Kang has a bunch of other problems right now. We're not going to get into that. Kang is supposed to be the next big bad of the MCU, but he's not being played up as much as Thanos was. I mean, think about it. Who in the MCU has met Kang? Thor and Ant-Man. That's it. They've not done a damn thing with Kang that they're supposed to. Oh yeah, Loki. I meant Loki. Not Thor. Loki. But yeah, they need to up that game a little bit, and I think things will get better. Although they're gonna have to you know, deal with. They're gonna have to deal with recasting Kang. Anyway. Let's, I think we're good on tier list. I'm a little tired from this right now, so, here's what we're gonna do. OBS is gonna show up on screen again. Don't freak out. Don't freak out! Okay. I'm going to do a little quick BRB. There we go. I'm gonna stop the recording. And, when I come back, we're gonna switch over to Claw Machine Simulator and maybe play that for about an hour or so. Where is this one? Okay, there we go. You're going, all right, well, thanks for being here. I will be right back. I'm going to stop the recording. And, I will be back with, Claw Machine Sim. So, stay tuned for that.